the Silicon Valley Bank had a major role to play as far as this startup ecosystem is concerned. So, which also meant that a lot of startups have their money parked at the bank, and when its collapse was evident, the biggest worry was how were these startups going to access their money, how were they going to pay their employees, and how were they going to pay for the overheads that startups normally have. And also there were many of these startup entrepreneurs had their personal accounts with SVB. So, all in all, the situation sent most technology chiefs into a huddle across the country to understand and assess the impact of this collapse. On the other side, the regulators were also worried because it had the potential to impact other regional banks, and so they moved very quickly to try and contain the situation. So, the impact on Indian startups is still left to conjecture, because not many have spoken up as yet as to their exposure to the bank, except for one gaming company, Nazara Technologies, which has said that its two step down subsidiaries have some money parked in the bank. But many other technology heads had off the record admitted that they had their money with SVB, but nothing is clear as yet. The Indian Minister of State for IT and Entrepreneurship has said, Rajiv Chandrasekhar has said that he will have a meeting with the entrepreneurs to understand the situation, but clearly there is going to be ramifications for the Indian startup ecosystem too. So, what happened at Silicon Valley Bank is a typical case of asset liability mismatch. What happened with this bank was it became the mainstay of the startup economy, which has grown over decades, surviving on cheap money. And in the process, SVB had actually managed to triple its deposits within a very short time, and that happened the growth rate was way above what the industry average was. On the other hand, it was investing in two kinds of instruments. It was investing in what is called a short term instruments, which are assets for sale, and the other side it was investing on long term instruments, which were to be held to maturity, or HTM as they are called, and it was investing more in the long term. So, when the interest rates started going up, the mortgage yields were not so good, and depositors were wanting to withdraw their money. The bank was short and it needed to raise that money, and it went ahead and tried to sell some of its short term bonds with a value of 21 billion, but what it managed to raise fell short by 1.8 billion. It was this news which impacted the market, and its stocks fell on March 10th, and which made the regulators step in and take it over. Like I mentioned earlier, the regulators moved rather quickly to contain the situation. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation has actually assured customers that they will have access to all their money starting Monday, and also a new facility has been created for banks to access emergency funds. While all of these moves have actually assured the world of some relief, there are still questions about the broader impact in terms of the bank's risks, and also there are questions as to whether the Fed will be able to stick to its aggressive interest hikes here on.